Hi everyone, it's James here from TSR Jivey Talks Tech. Now, Universal Audio have just made good on their promise from the launch of this bad boy, the new Apollo X Gen 2. That's got it right, yep. And they have released their calibration upgrade in association with the team at Sonarworks. Thanks to the guys at UA for sending me all the codes and all the stuff to make it work. I've got my Sonarworks measurement microphone. I have an Apollo X series, this is the X8 Gen 2. So I thought I'd show you exactly how easy it is to calibrate your room and calibrate your speakers. I have just upgraded, well, the first part of the upgrade to full Atmos. So I've got some speakers out and I've built a 5.1 system. So left, center, right, and left rear, right rear. And I thought I'd give it a go. The nice thing about the X series, the Apollo X series, is that you can, depending on the Apollo X Gen 2 or Gen 1 actually that you have, run up to a Dolby Atmos 9.1.6 system. However, the Apollo X8 that I have here only runs up to 7.1 surround. But for this test, 5.1 is absolutely fine. I've got my 3 at the front, 2 at the back, subs down there, dual subs actually, they're linked. So let's go. Let's run through the software as if you were doing this at home. Importantly, and a slight variation from previous versions of Sonarworks, the mic has to be in a stand and ideally it is mounted vertically. It's an omnidirectional mic, which means it's picking up from all directions anyway. But hey, let's dive in. I've got the screen cap running, we've got a couple of cameras, we should be good. Let's see how we can butcher this then. So we're going to go down here to main output, click on that. There is a calibration that I've run already. I'm not entirely happy with that. So let's see what happens. And here we go. Here's my previous, but let's go add a new output. We're going to have the Apollo Thunderbolt. Open the measurement app. And let's see what happens. Now we can choose from our particular layout. Normally, or in previous existences, I've gone for a stereo rig, but this time we're going to go 5.1. Hit next. Yep, I've got that. The microphone's on a boom stand. It's all very intuitive. I'm not going to make you watch the full 40 minutes of this because quite frankly, even I'd rather watch paint dry. I will speed up the appropriate bits. I have an other interface. So, yep, it's got it. All of these Sonarworks microphones have their own serial number. They're individually calibrated. So you take the serial number from here and put it on here and it knows which mic you have, which is really cool. There we go. We can see the individual calibration curve for this mic. Yep, we're going to use the +10 louder for Dolby. We like that. Let's test. There's left. There's right. Let's just move the camera because that's always going to mess things up. So there's the center. There's our LFE. Lovely. Left surround and right surround. All working. So here we go.
Please adjust the volume of your output device. My voice should sound at normal conversation volume. Left speaker. Right speaker.
Reduce your output. Yeah, I would say that's about right. So let's go for that. There's a very nice video. And we're in the sweet spot, which is about the right sort of height, I'm guessing. Yeah, I suppose when I sit down, I'm about there. Right, let's do that. Here we go. Okay. We're in the UK, so we're going to go metric, not Church of England. There's an irony. And now we take this out of there. And we're going to hold the mic. It does say for the mid-range, but on these, it's a mid and a tweeter. But actually, I suppose that's the mid-range, isn't it? Because the LFE is doing that into things. So let's hold it about there somewhere. Here we go.
Stay where you are. Measurements in progress. Left speaker done.
Okay, next one.
Stay where you are. Measurements in progress. Right speaker done.
Okay, review dimensions. Let's do that. So it says about 102 centimetres apart. Trusty tape measure. We are about 120 apart. So let's manually adjust that. There we go. Next, let's put the mic back in the clip. I'm not sure if having it facing forward makes any difference at all. Theoretically it doesn't. Let's put it back in the clip, back in the middle, and hit start. And again, review dimensions. It reckons 111. I think we're probably a bit more than that. 127, I reckon. So let's manually put that in there. There we go, and next. Now previously, this particular bit wasn't quite so successful. I had to do quite a lot of manual faff, but that could be down to my room rather than my choice of speakers or the calibration. Here we go. Okay, we're okay, but we're minus 3 dB on that left surround. It doesn't go any louder than that, so I am going to just hit next. And we'll skip that bit and we'll do it later on. Okay, let's try that and hit start. Okay, those measurements are done. Here we go. This is the time-consuming bit from what I remember. 37 measurements to take, 38 in total, and here we go. So what the system's doing at this stage is it's using a kind of echolocation kind of technique, a bit like bats use to fly around in the dark, to work out where the microphone is in space. And then we get, in this case, 6 swept sine waves, 1 from each speaker. So it goes left, right, center, sub. That's the wobbly one. Left surround, right surround. And from that, it's able to calculate the ideal curve at each of these points in the listening sweet spot. So next, it's worked it out. Here's what's going on in the room. There's clearly a bit of a hump in the low end, about 73 Hertz, but we will save that. Let's call it UA Apollo 5.1 November 24/2. Save that. And now we can close the measurement app and we can add an output. So there is our calibration curve. Actually, we're not a million miles out. I mean, that's 6 dB in a few places. There's a bit of a bump around here. That's fairly normal, to be honest. So we can go ahead and apply that curve to the Apollo X. Let's send that over. Done. Over now in the monitor controller. There it is updated. And it's only showing 2 of the frequency plots, but I can kind of handle that. Bass management is disengaged for this particular sweep. I wanted to try one with, one without. But we can now go ahead and play some music back and have a listen, which is really cool. It just seems to get on and do it. The previous time round I had a few issues, and I realised when it says stay where you are, it means it. Because it's doing the whole echolocation thing, it knows roughly where you are and how much shielding you're putting around the microphone, or it certainly seems to. But let's have a listen back to a track and see how it sounds now. Now, I will say this, one of the things that it has done is improved the stereo image. These Calis have a really nice broad sweet spot, but this has just made it better, amazingly so. It's doing a nice job of controlling the sub. I'm getting plenty of punch when it's in bass managed mode. When it's not, they just sound great and full range, which is really nice. It's not a complicated procedure. It took me probably an hour, realistically, after setup. You do have to make sure that your outputs are assigned correctly in the Apollo console. The Apollo X8 has 8 outputs. I'm using 6 of them, but the main left and right are the left and right monitor outs. So effectively, I've still got 4 outputs to play with if I want to. So I've got my left and right coming from the monitor outs left and right. That is fixed. It's always that way. It has to be that way. Otherwise, when you do fold down to stereo, all the routing goes horribly wrong. So the left and right are coming from the main left and right. So we then have output 1 is the center, output 2 is the LFE, output 3 is the left surround, output 4 is the right surround, thus giving me 4 more outs if I actually have to do any real sort of tracking work or reamping or anything like that, which is really handy. This is a really nice feature addition to the UA Apollo ecosystem, if you like. I'm not 100% convinced by the pricing structure. Yes, you do have to buy a copy of Sonarworks. If you want to do the multi-channel version, not just stereo, it's €499. It's not cheap. The stereo version I think is $299 and the headphones only is $99. It's very nice that you can have a different calibration for headphones than you do for the main speaker outputs. That's a really nice feature because, hey, who wants the same calibration curve applied to their headphones as they do to their speakers? It wouldn't work. That's a really nice feature, and if that's how you mix, 99 quid, or $99 bargain. The larger Apollos, like the X16, they allow you to go all the way up to Dolby Atmos 9.1.6. That's a lot of swept sine waves and you're going to slowly go insane. But other than that, it works really well. The actual process is very simple. Get a half decent mic stand, which allows you to put things in the right place and keep it there. Yeah, it's great. It really, really works well. The original Sonarworks idea where you had to have either a plugin in your DAW with the Sonarworks calibration in, or what they used to refer to as system-wide, where it was on the system outputs, was a bit messy. You had to remember to turn off the Sonarworks calibration in your DAW when you did your bounce. Otherwise, you ended up with the calibration mix, the calibration EQ applied to the mix. Not great. This is better. It's also taking the pressure off your system by storing it inside your hardware. My previous monitors, the Fluid Audio Image 2s, did the same thing, where the calibration curves were stored in the speakers. That's cool. This is, I think, cooler because obviously it's one point, it's one file to reload. It's just done. Then if you want to swap between managed, as in bass managed, and full range, you can do very easily. Yeah, that's it. That's the process. It works very well. The speakers sound good. They sounded good before. They sound better now. So I really hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. Please do check down there. There's affiliate links if you want to look into buying this sort of stuff. Sorry, we have to do that these days. It's how the wolf is kept from the door and the lights are kept on. If you've enjoyed that, please do consider liking, subscribing, hit the bell. All the normal stuff to be kept in the loop for all things JTT. But for now, my name's James Ivey from TSR Jivey Talks Tech, and I'll see you again very soon.